sandals and shorts, and surf, and scuba, and sand, and sailing, and soccer. San Diego, California.
Two balls and a mic.
Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 259, back here on a Monday. And it can be said that it is one of the most important Mondays in San Diego soccer history. My name is Tony Sanchez, along with Alejandro El Chia Villaseñor. San Diego FC holds their first ever training at the Sharp Healthcare Performance Center in Singing Hills over in El Cajon, San Diego, California. Our very own Abraham Cepeda and Alejandro Chia Villaseñor, the star of Annie and Nelson at 1 p.m. Everybody's made it on that show. Absolutely awesome. We're going to go ahead and get the sights, sounds, smells, the feeling of what it was like to be there. I wasn't able to go. I haven't been there in a while. But I trusted that your guidance in the questioning of Tom Penn, Mike Ibarras, and and sporting director Tyler Heaps went well. Right? I'm good? We're good?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
good.
Making
We'll
sure. We also have news on the other side of Snapdragon Stadium. We didn't mention it. I mean, finally, it's official. Jonas Eideval is the head coach. He is in. Casey Stoney was out. She was up north to Canada. New head coach for the Canadian national team will still coach Kalen Sheridan, still relevant to San Diego, as well as the news that will be dropping more than likely very soon about Jaden Shaw and her trade to NC Courage. Everything that has to do with that we'll discuss here on Two Balls and a Mic. Goals, gaffes, and greats. El Zarape de San Diego, Esteban Toscano from the Baller Crew will be joining us in person.
Sir.
I hope he makes it here.
I hope so.
Thank you for everybody who's joined, who has been clicking, sharing, engaging with the content that Chiva and Abe were able to gather today in preseason. It is a busy day.
Yeah, it was a long day for sure, Tony. I mean, let's welcome Abe into the studio, because he was my ride over there to the Sharp Healthcare Performance. What's it called? Tony, help me out here. The Sharp Healthcare Performance Center. There you go. I had it right. I mean, it's gonna take me a while to get used to saying
Did
that.
he put himself in? Did you put yourself in?
Yeah, he
Abe?
did.
I'm sorry, Abe.
In.
Sorry for my,
he was struggling. I thought I was going to help, but he got it.
Yeah.
He's there. He's good.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Season's greetings to everybody in the chat. Brandon and Esteban still keeping in touch here. The Baller Crew in force.
To be honest, that's the one's probably parked outside watching.
100%. That's fine. Stealing my Wi-Fi. It is A-okay. We're going to talk everything San Diego FC today. San Diego Wave FC Football Club will also be a part of the discussions today. And this is kind of what's San Diego soccer, in theory, has always been, right? We've always hoped that San Diego would have the amount of professional soccer that is being spoken about. And now, we've had San Diego Wave in the top flight. MLS is here in San Diego, top flight soccer. Up until now, San Diego FC has only been that of theory.
Yeah.
It has never really been a physical entity that you can see and the tangibility of players wearing the crest, the training kits on the first day of training. Originally not touted to be the first day of training available to media today. That was actually originally set on Friday. Got another window of time here. But Abe, you and Chiva went up there as you were heading up there, or actually in the throes of it. It was actually announced that STFC have signed Oni Valakari, a Finnish international.
Sounds like
from Finland.
Game of Thrones character.
I mean, that's
Drakari.
That's pretty much the Iron Islands up there. Oni Valakari, a center midfielder, attacking midfielder. We're going to go ahead and dissect and go into his play style and what this means for the overall club. He was out there, it's one of these things where if a high profile player just kind of appears in the background of pictures, exactly. That's people are going to start pointing things out. People are going to be putting stuff together. But all right, enough of me right now. If you have any questions for Aben and Chiva, who are actually there today at training, but all right, make it out there. What was it like, guys?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was the first time I got to go up there. I think Abe, you mentioned you went to the ribbon cutting as well as you, Tony, but it was pretty cool. I don't know, Abe, did it look any different? I get to see like what it's been built now, but you were there since day one. Abe, did it look different to you at all?
It felt very different to me. It was just mostly dirt and excavators and just construction stuff the first time I went. Those hotels that they had originally for Singing Hills are still there. They're going to be converting those into like sleeping quarters for the academy, I believe. And they even like housed media in there. When we got there early, we were just in the lobby of one of the hotel rooms just sitting around with a bunch of people. And I thought it was really cool. I was honestly not expecting it to be like so built, and it's still like in construction. Like we had to like walk through areas with people with hard hats on and stuff. Like I think technically we were supposed to have hard hats on, but we just
don't get anyone in trouble.
Yeah, sorry. And we even saw Chiva's neighbor there. Like we saw everything. It was crazy.
That was wild. So we were in the lobby. We were getting ready to go. And they told us, hey, 2 minutes. We're gonna head out to the fields. Everyone's getting their gear ready. A lot of different media people there, some familiar faces that we've seen, some new faces as well. I mean, that comes with just MLS. But yes, we were walking towards the field. I recognized one of the construction workers. We made eye contact. He pointed at me. I was like, hey, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué es aquí, güey? I was like, hey, what's up? What are you doing here? It's like my upstairs neighbor from my apartments. So I was like, oh, well, I mean, I do this as like for work too. I do media coverage for soccer. And it's like, oh, mándame foto del Chucky. Send me a picture of Chucky Lozano. I was like, I'll try, my guy. I'll try. But yeah, so we walk over to the field, and Tom Penn's there ready. Tyler Heaps is ready. Mikey Varas is ready as well. And we get set up. They set us up. I'm like, hey, Spanish speaking media on the one side.
Mm-hmm.
They had a group of media in the middle, and then another group on the right side. So we each took turns asking like a round for each one of them. So we started with Tyler Heaps, and I personally love that we got Tyler Heaps here because he's really the brain and operations of the whole
100%.
thing. So I mean, it was really cool just to hear him say like the conversations that he had, which we'll be showing that video later as well in the episode. But hearing him talk and what we shared on Twitter as well, it's like, hey, there's a couple players still missing.
Yeah, so the Real Swing Friar asking here, like, what were the vibes like, right? Did the players look motivated? And I can tell you right now, everybody on this side of the camera was motivated to get out there. Abe, what were your feelings out there?
It did feel, I don't know, maybe this is just me projecting because I haven't covered a soccer event in a while. Like, it's been a while. Like, it felt like the first day of school in just a good way, where everyone's kind of got that, like, nervous energy, but it's excitement, and you just want to, like, start something new, and you have, like, that feeling that it's going to be good. So everyone's kind of like jogging a little faster. They're getting their like stuff on pretty fast, moving around. Like sometimes with soccer, it's like everyone trickles out like slowly, like first is these people and then wait and then these people. But like everyone was all together, just moving out there pretty fast. They got all their warm-ups in. We didn't get to watch the warm-ups, which I was a little bit, I like watching the warm-ups because I like imagining like, man, how out of shape am I that I would, if I were to run like that. And I just, it's a lot of fun. It was fun to be out there.
Yeah, and I mean, to answer that question too, like the players look motivated. I think they were excited. You can tell when they were walking out. Obviously, they had just worked out in the gym. That's what the Tyler Heaps had told us. Like, hey, the players are in the gym right now working out. They were coming out ready to get to training. So imagine just having a full-on workout, and now you have to go on one side of the field to start. They started out with like running drills, starting running laps, different sprints, just kind of warming up to get everything going.
Sprints, yeah.
Unos sprints. I mean, and then from there you have to go in and start running all your soccer drills, like passing drills and all that. It was very cool to see how excited Mikey Varas was because this was his first practice with this team. Like, we got to see him as a coach. We got to see him going and yelling, "You're gonna pass this dummy over here, then you're gonna go over here, you're gonna lap this person, see where your teammate is going, pass it there, this and that," and then repeating everything in Spanish. And Abe and I were looking at each other like, okay.
Repeating everything in Spanish.
he repeated everything in Spanish. Pretty sure everyone here speaks English. The only Spanish speaking guy that hardly spoke English was Chucky Lozano.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, for him
He-
to repeat everything in Spanish, it's kind of like, okay, Chucky, you need to also understand what we're doing.
It felt to me like they were just like hammering out like the little details. Like he wouldn't repeat everything in Spanish. He would just say like, okay, like we're gonna do this, y luego pa acá. Like he would add that little bit just like for
Like
that
the
last
Spanglish,
important
right?
detail. What?
It's like the Spanglish.
A little bit of Spanglish, yeah, just to like try and like get everyone involved in the stuff. And I like hearing Mikey Vadas talk. He was also speaking from a place where he's mostly coached for the national team, or that's his most recent experience. So being able to like spread your training over a long stretch of time is like something completely different that I think helps a lot of these like national team coaches when they go back to club. They get so much time instead of just having to like do a full sprint for a 2 week camp. They just get a lot of time to spread out their ideas, and the ideas just seem simple right now, especially when you have a brand new team. It's very simple. It's just we're gonna go out there and go really hard. It's really simple, really.
And with that too, I mean, he also mentioned with that experience of the joining the national 20 under 20 men's national team, it's like he got that team right after COVID. So it's a group of players that haven't played together in so long. So I mean, to him, he has experience in starting from scratch. That's what he said. But yeah, we see footage here brought to you by San Diego FC. But yeah, just it's remember the loyal days, Tony, when you would go out there and like you see Nate Miller yelling at the players and all that. It's kind of like that, but it's on
Look,
steroids.
it's professional soccer. Like at the end of the day, this is how I see it, right? Like everybody here is a professional at what they do. There's no real time to do icebreakers and get to know you. It's like, no, the way that you are gonna need to know each other is the way you speak in training and on the field, on the pitch. That's the only language that really matters, right? I was kind of doing the math of like, how many different languages are out there, right? You have English, Spanish, Danish. You have I know there's some French speakers in there. So like the communication is going to come together at some point, but this is important in terms of really coming together and seeing the level that everybody needs to start getting at, right? Because this is after the holidays. Everybody had holidays. Everybody is out of season. Everybody is ready to jump into the fray, but that can mean different things for different reasons. Some players, had just trials. There are players who are on trial who are not being mentioned yet. I know that there was a sighting from one of our friends in the 619 soccer community about Christopher Jamie. I believe he played Jaime. I'm sorry, I'm the Americanized me. Just kind of Christopher Jaime. Who played for Las Vegas Lights, part of LAFC 2, has some experience, is a player on trial on there. So,
I mean, from San Diego.
But again, like that's where like the roster construction really kind of, when people ask like, you guys should have gotten Paul Arriola, you guys should have gotten Brandon Vasquez, you guys should have. Sure. Is that really what constitute a miss for SDFC just because it didn't get the local kid? Like, I don't think that right now is factoring too heavily on this roster build.
Yeah, no.
Tyler Heaps is really just on the mission to construct something different, something that's going to fit into the system that they want to go ahead and play against. We have Tom Penn interview for CEO of SDFC. We have Mikey Vanas, and we have Tyler Heaps here in a bit that will play. We'll let everybody get settled. But kind of going back on this, how do you guys feel about the roster? Do you feel like at least have a playoff caliber roster on the way to building one? Yes.
Sorry, I mean, to me, it kind of looks like Tyler Hips is really trying to build a super team of soccer misfits in a way, where they're not well known, they're not superstars, but they have the quality and talent to get there. And I think he's kind of putting all his marbles on that. Obviously, you have Chucky Lozano, you have high caliber players as well. But I mean, just going over like the player they signed today, right? You look at highlights, you look at videos of him, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's a freaking baller. Like, this guy can shoot from afar. Like, everything.
Tony Valacari is
he's
a player.
He looks legit, right? He's 25 years old, barely gonna get to his prime. So I really think the roster can either go. It can go either way. It can be a chef's kiss, genius changing the way soccer is played in America,
Mhm.
putting together the absolute best roster out there out of random players, or it can just be a complete catastrophe,
I like that
and they
people are
can be the laughing stock.
I like that people are concerned with the happiness level of the players.
Let me just tell you this.
Okay, yeah.
It looked like Chucky Lozano le entró a los tamales, güey. Le entró a los tamales macizo. He was
Okay.
huffing and puffing.
I
after
did not say
the
that.
condition stuff. Abe, you agreed with me. Don't lie.
I didn't say le entró las
The
tamales.
picture I posted of him drinking water, he was puffing and puffing a little bit.
Mhm.
Not saying he's out of shape or anything. Pero le entró los tamales.
He's not match fit. If the season started tomorrow,
He's not match fit.
he
They're not.
wouldn't
A
be
lot of
considered
None of
are.
them are not match fit.
but
It's
that's exactly what
preseason.
you want. It's the first training ever for San Diego FC. And so that really allows for, players to come in and get ready, right? Get bulked up. Maybe he's going for a different approach and bulking up and, leaving some of the speed behind and having a little bit more strength or something.
Another thing too is I think a lot of these players, especially in like strong male environments, they're trying to like be tough. I'm not breathing heavy. I'm strong. I'm not going to do this. Chucky Lozano is starting that first game. Like, there's no question. He doesn't have to hide like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, like, he can be himself, completely comfortable, knowing he's going to get that first spot. Some of the other players, they might have been like playing it off, being cool, like doing that a little extra jog or extra pep in their step to try and show off to some of the like people that are watching, the coaches saying like, yeah, I'm good, I'm ready. First day of training, I'm here, ready to go. Chucky Lozano doesn't have to worry about that.
He doesn't have anything to prove. He already accomplished so much. I mean, he's here in his retirement tour, but I mean, he's also barely gonna hit 30, so he still has a lot in the gas tank, I think. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how Chucky Lozano develops in this preseason.
Yeah, I like the way you described it earlier, Chiva, and it's conditioning, right? So coming up, and this is kind of like the schedule, and anybody who's really played soccer is definitely aware of this type of schedule when it comes to the training regimen, right? Like if it's if your game is on Monday, you come back and you get your ass chewed for whatever you fucked up on last weekend's game, and you get punished with conditioning and running. You do not touch a ball. That was my least favorite day of all types of training. Is Monday.
Where you see the balls just laid out
Nope.
throughout the field.
Nope.
No, and it's BBs. You never did BBs? Like,
Nope.
It's pretty much like suicide. Like,
It was
first ball back, second ball back.
it was
boom,
it's
boom,
a
boom.
psychologically damaging tactic that coaches do.
How does it feel for a
And over
goalkeeper?
there, no, exactly. So it's like,
Pues por tu culpa te metieron los goles, güey.
chavos, hoy no se toca balón as the ball comes up here.
Yeah,
in
you
the
don't
video.
touch those.
Yeah,
I actually like those days, if I'm being honest.
No, I can't stand. Hoy no se toca balón. What do you mean we're not going to touch the ball? Like, no,
Soccer.
we're not going to touch the ball. Oh, by the way, parents, meet us at the beach because today they really fucked up, and we're going to go ahead and train at the beach, and it's conditioning at the beach. Ouch.
Ouch.
Playas de Tijuana, man.
That's
Anyway,
where I grew up.
but this is what this is, right? It's the conditioning part of it. They're not really starting to build any sort of plays. There's no set pieces being considered and drawn up in any type of deep and meaningful ways right now. It's literally, hey, let's get the mile, time a little lower. Like let's go ahead and chisel some of this extra maybe kilos. A lot of metric system players coming into the US. You like that, Abe? All right.
It's a lot of fundamentals right now.
Yeah, a lot of fundamentals,
Touch and go, yeah.
like yeah.
I mean, it's what's expected day one, especially the first week. I mean, they're not going to get a closed doors match until January 25th, I believe. So they have a couple of weeks. I mean, they have 2 weeks, a week, 10 days till that. So if you train every day, you get 1 day off in the week. I mean, you'll start building some chemistry. You don't start building chemistry until you start playing games as well. So I am curious to see who the starting 11 are for that closed door scrimmage. We're not going to get to find out eventually, but we'll be seeing San Diego FC taking the field on against another MLS team February 8th at Coachella. If you go to Coachella, to the Coachella Invitational, that's where SDFC is going to pretty much kick off their first official game in front of fans. So that should be an exciting match.
Only other thing I want to add, there were 4 goalkeepers. There's only 3 technically on the roster right now. So there is going to be a goalkeeper battle, it seems, for that first starting spot, and then Tyler Heaps did kind of hint that there won't be an extra goalkeeper, or he didn't outwardly mention that was like a need for them. So I think that kind of says like we're good at goalkeeper. They're gonna figure out where that's moving forward. And then who I liked watching train the most was honestly Boateng. I kind of expected that too. He is like so much shorter than everyone else there.
Yes, 5'6".
Like it was
Yes.
cool to watch. Just like, oh dude, like he's like a whole just few
He's
heads shorter than
built.
everyone else.
He's built. He's buff. He's
built, yeah.
strong. Yeah, I agree, Abe. I mean, it's fair to say now that San Diego FC will be starting either CJ Dos Santos or what's the other goalkeeper? Paul? No,
Paul Cisniega?
Paul Cisniega. I think that's the starting battle between those two goalkeepers. They're the ones with a bit more experience, but we'll see what happens there. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely interesting to see the players just kind of passing and going and just overall like getting to know each other, their passing styles, their running styles. So the grass looked fine.
Of course.
At least for now. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's going to get hot, really hot in the summer there.
It's gonna be so hot. It was hot like today, and
Yeah.
it's cold outside right now. Like I was thinking to myself, like, man, if they're gonna have to deal with this all during the summer, it's gonna be brutal.
They're going to have misters out there. I mean, they're partnering with Snapdragon. There probably won't be any shade there, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Tony, I think you want to roll out a video, Tom Penn.
Yeah,
interviews.
so let's get to it, right? So you guys, San Diego Football. You know, we had media availability. The first media availability, it seems like with player availability, will be this Friday.
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and take that day to check it out. You know, conveniently place doctor's appointment on that day. It's you know, you hate to see it, but Chiba and Abraham were there. Abraham being the constant on Friday. Hopefully, met with Tom Penn. Some questions his way. And overall, anything different? We'll hear from him here. So let's go ahead and just let Mr. Penn speak for himself on that. How about that, guys? Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
AFC.
Well, if you talk about this place, there's no place like this in North America in terms of the infrastructure we have and then the purpose that we're here. So the infrastructure is obvious. The place itself is so special. On the Sequan Reservation, the site of their ancestral village, and then the purpose of Right to Dream intermixed with a high-performance academy. So others have a high-performance building, rather, but we're going to have this youth academy layered in. So the best 12-year-olds with the best 32-year-olds and everybody in between. That makes this really special in North America and actually top 5 in the world.
And then congrats on the partnership with Club America and Cholos, obviously. What can you tell us about those partnerships, and will there be future partnerships with other Liga MX clubs?
Yeah, well, with Cholos, it's 5 years, and we're doing that right here in the region. With Club America, it's a little broader, and we're going to play a couple matches with them and work on various initiatives in the community and otherwise. They've been very attracted to what this place is and what it's going to become, because we can develop the best American players and the best Mexican players because we're so close to the border. So we're the only academy in North America that can cross border and have both Mexican kids and U.S. kids in the same place. And Club America likes that.
Ask Tyler this, and you know, today must, I'm assuming, feel different because so much of this has been on paper, conceptual. He said a lot of whiteboard up to this point. You've been a part of this even longer. What's today feel like in that sense of, does it feel like the transition into a more concrete, real world?
There's nothing like smelling the grass. You know, when you're in a conference room or when you're in the initial phases of conceptualizing this, when you can get out and smell the grass, the real grass, and be on it with players, that's a shifting into a new gear. And that's where we are right now, is having the players here for the first time and seeing what we got and hearing the action and witnessing this whole thing being born. It's pretty special.
What went into your What went into your decision to hire the youngest sporting director in the MLS?
Two things. He's incredibly bright, and in a football term, he's on the front foot. He's innovative, he's clever, he's forward-thinking. That combined with his understanding of Right to Dream and the Right to Dream style of play and way. He was embedded in our organization with broader Right to Dream for a period of time, and it's critically important that our football matches that style and plugs into that talent base, because there's an enterprise like this in Ghana, there's one in Egypt, there's one in Denmark that are all creating the same kind of players, trained the same way. So we needed a sporting director with an eye towards that and a priority, and then a head coach who's willing to play that way so we can take advantage of all that in-house talent.
Do you see the community interest building in this team and like how our ticket sales are going? What do you see?
Yeah, we've got so much momentum in the market. We've had a great response initially. Ticket sales have been robust and strong. Snapdragon's a big building. It'll be the biggest soccer-specific building in the country, if you want to think of it that way. We're bigger than any other MLS team except the NFL places. And then you get all the momentum of having real product now. You know, we've got this is a big day because it's the first time anybody in the market's going to see us wearing our kit and our colors on grass playing. And we got Chucky Lozano here, who's just already legendary throughout any of the Mexican audience, and the fans of the Mexican national team are fans of Chucky. You should have seen him yesterday hugging everybody. He went like 3 deep into the crowd, hugging our supporters. It's amazing.
Can I follow up on that?
Yeah.
The interest from on the binational border, so the interest from Mexico, do you see that growing? How are you going to try to get folks to cross the border?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know how many will cross to go to matches. We've talked to Cholos about that. They play Friday night, we play Saturday night. And there's already a lot of cross-border activity for their matches on Friday. So I would expect, and we would embrace the idea of go support Cholos on Friday night and then come see us on Saturday night. And it'll be really curious to see just how many members of our audience do that. That's one of the questions and curiosities I have about this.
2 questions for you. With this team and facility, in addition to all the other teams in the region on the professional level, and all the youth players that actually play, what are your hopes for soccer in our region? You were talking about developing future players. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we want this to be the epicenter of football excellence and innovation in North America. That's our vision for the whole club, is to be the epicenter of excellence and innovation in North America, the best. This region has so much talent and a long history of that. Can we be the magnet that brings the best talent here, that brings more talent from beyond our region, and that puts out the best players possible for the U.S. national team, for the Mexican national team, both, and then we win a lot of games and trophies along the way.
All right, and following that, you're talking about the U.S. national team. How have you seen soccer at the U.S. level, and of course with your time at LAFC on the MLS level, change over time?
There's been a real commitment to youth development. Generally, there's been momentum around that in the United States, and this idea of growing the team the right way. We're taking that to the next level with this kind of investment. Nobody's invested this much capital into a youth development focused club. And it'll be interesting to see the fruits of that over the years.
Just to confirm, it is both boys and girls, men's and women?
Yes, we'll have girls here as well.
You mentioned the grass and the playing surface and Snapdragon itself. How do you think that SDFC plans to address those issues as it moves forward?
So we're in constant contact with the university now about the quality of the pitch, and they've got a plan that is different than what they had last year, and we're eager to see how well we exist in that building with 2 other teams. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, that was San Diego FC CEO Tom Penn. Shout out to A for asking that last question at the end.
Abraham Sippin.
I wasn't going to ask about it. It wasn't top of mind, but somebody had to say soccer specific, and I heard someone's voice in the back of my head just like freaked out. Just, I don't know how your voice got into my head, but it was in my head just saying like, he said soccer specific. He said soccer specific. Oh my God. And it's just not true. We can say that. It's happening again. Yes, Snapdragon Stadium is not soccer specific. It was built for San Diego State football. It had to cancel its last home game for the Wave because they couldn't hold soccer there. It's simple. And I genuinely hope that they work to address those issues. As Tom Penn said, they changed their plan and stuff, but it's not soccer specific.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was definitely the question to ask at the end as well. So shout out to you, Abe. I think we're gonna take a pause on San Diego FC talk.
I need a second.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
take
need
a
a
pause
second
here.
after that. Okay. Well, yes, we're gonna go ahead and take a pause. Another takeaway from that was, just really speaking about the community and the great work that they have been doing in the community and being reflective and all that and low and ticket sales. I've never seen a team say, "Hey, general season tickets are up for sale," and then out of nowhere just say, "Hey, actually no, because of the high demand, we're going to go ahead and actually only give those to season ticket members. Become a season ticket member." Again, these are all the facets of a team that is coming up, and hopefully, that's a case where the robust quote amount of inquiries will yield a larger San Diego presence to support the San Diego team. How about that spin?
I mean, it's definitely a business at the end of the day, and they're going to try to push season ticket members for sure. But yeah, I mean,
Juan Garcia says that here's funny how they think that just having Chucky alone is going to satisfy the fan base. Better hope they start out strong. Yeah, you better hope so. You better start off the gate. He cut off the interview right after that question. Well done, Abe. Absolutely, well done, Abe.
Well done, Abe.
That's your boy Abraham Cepeda. Go ahead and get him at Abe_Cepeda. That's editor in chief. We'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and put that. That was it my voice, Abe?
It was definitely your voice.
No, it was my own voice, and it was coupled with your voice because like it was the little the little guy on your shoulder. Do you guys believe in those? Like the little good one and the bad one?
Yeah.
You seen that? Like that guy was talking to me, and then there was a little guy behind him, and it was you just being like, yeah. Yeah, that's how it felt.
Do it, Abe.
Rubbing his shoulders, like, yeah, do it.
This is so dumb.
Do it,
do it, Abe. Come on.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna definitely take a pause right here. We're gonna transition over to San Diego Wave because there are news also and potential news incoming as well. So we will be circling back with San Diego FC as well with our Zarape de San Diego segment with the San Diego's own and Baller Crew's own Esteban Toscano.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and take that and go to San Diego Wave real quick. The other team in the soccer specific venue of Snapdragon Stadium. San Diego Wave FC have had a couple of announcements since our last episode. Obviously we've been reporting and having the scoop on Jonas Eideval, the new head coach for San Diego FC, the Jonas era. His name is Jonas. He's now joined, and he says, San Diego is a city with passionate fans and a vibrant football culture. San Diego Wave is going in a new direction, and it's clearly with some of the maneuvers that are happening, the ingress and egress of players has been your face, Abe, where you're surprised when
egress.
I said,
"Ooh,
yeah, ooh,
word.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's how you get in and out of Snapdragon with those fancy signs. How do we give up on young talent like Jaden Shaw? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it because, all right, so player-wise, Jaden Shaw is rumored. It's going to be confirmed soon.
Reported by Equalizer, Jeff Kassouf at Equalizer.
Absolutely, Edwin Kassouf. He reported that Jaden Shaw is being traded to NC Courage. The young talent here in San Diego. A rising star, a player who whose ceiling is question, but it's good looking good. Abe,
I think you could even say a star, not even a rising star, a star. Okay, she scored. She was the MVP of the Women's Gold Cup. Like she is one of just the young players in United States American soccer that's just the future. She's young, she's strong on the attack, she can play multiple positions, and she's the one that asked for the trade. I don't think the Wave gave up on Shaw. Shaw gave up on the Wave because of the catastrophe last year. This is all brought upon itself by San Diego Wave leadership, ownership, whoever, whatever you want to say. This is brought on to them by themselves, just at from the ineptitude at all levels, honestly.
Self-inflicted wounds here.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if a player wants out, there's only so much a club can do to try to keep that same player. Shaw's one of your best players, and she wanted out of San Diego Wave. What keeps the next best player in San Diego Wave to also want a trade, like a maybe Naomi Girma, who's almost one of the best players in the world? Like, what keeps her from wanting to stay or going to explore different options, right? From a soccer standpoint with San Diego Wave, I also can see maybe the positives of losing Shaw. She wasn't really quite the same coming back from injury. I think she had a lot of confidence issues when it came to the Olympics and not being match fit. And I think that got into her head a little bit. We saw her coming back towards the end of the season and she was playing great. I don't think she was fully match fit at the time. Landon Donovan, the head coach, interim head coach at the time, kept telling us, yeah, she's almost match fit. And when we saw her, there was those glimpses of who Jaden Shaw was, right? San Diego Wave has incoming talent like Trinity Byers. They just announced a player today as well. What was her name, Tony? You can remind me.
Chiamaka?
Chiamaka.
Chiamaka is how I'll refer to her, and I'll look at the pronunciation guide, actually.
So they signed her. She's a 19-year-old Nigerian striker.
If Craig couldn't pronounce the name, and he's the PA guy.
Oh, 100%. He did say in that interview, I'm going to have to learn this one. I can see it being like, okay, well, I can see San Diego Wave thinking, okay, what if Jaden Shaw doesn't return to that same Jaden Shaw she was prior to this injury? Like, there's always that risk. I think when you're a club, you have to have the benefit of the doubt for your players, and you have to say, hey, Jaden Shaw will come back better than ever. She's our player. She's our future. Do I think it's a huge blow? Absolutely. Until these new incoming players can prove themselves in this starting 11, you can't tell me otherwise. But again, if a player wants out, there's only so much you can do. You try to get the best deal possible because this player's already checked out.
Yeah, we saw this with Maria Sanchez at the beginning of the season with Houston. They were going through like some turmoil off the field with their leadership and coaches and stuff. So she asked for a trade behind closed doors, eventually made her request public to even even push them another level, saying, hey, we need to, I need to get out of here. And if it had reached that point eventually with Jaden Shaw, I think they wanted to avoid that, but I think this is just a huge blow to the Wave. Jaden Shaw is one of the best players San Diego is probably ever going to see as far as young American forwards, and she's great. She's going to be playing for the U.S. Women's National Team when they're here for the She Believes Cup, and you're just going to see how great she is and how big of a miss this is going to be for the Wave.
Absolutely. And I think there's no world where losing Jaden Shaw is a positive, right? Like I can't think of that, especially for San Diego Wave. Lynn here with this is saying, are you sure that Shaw wanted out? Because the Wave front office / management said that she didn't like how she was being utilized by Stoney. And look, I don't think anybody can be happy of how Stoney utilized them or how they were utilized or their utilization was implemented on the field. Because clearly, if you're Casey Stoney, you put your players in the best position that's going to make the team be better, right? If the players don't like that, then whatever, but at least you're getting results. Wave wasn't getting results. A young player, a young attacking player who obviously was frustrated throughout the entire season, and you can see it wear on the faces, and it really wore down not just Shaw but the rest of the squad. Just how last season panned out on the field, at least on the field, right? But then as the changes happened through the year, Shaw never really, like you said, regained that step. You have somebody with Paul Buckle coming in, you have Landon, you have all of these duct tape kind of repairs for something that's clearly a hemorrhaging wound that San Diego Wave was. And then ultimately, you just have your worst year in performance. So you're not going to be happy with whatever happened here, and you think maybe a change of pace is going to go ahead and be that difference maker in your career, and hopefully just wish the very best for every single player, wish nothing but health and wellness for everybody. And if she can find that in NC Courage, then fantastic. Let the joy of soccer, the muse of soccer, return to Jaden Shaw's attack style.
To answer Lynn's comment, I don't think it was so much the front office, like off the field stuff that like all the lawsuits are about. I think it's more so just the management changes from the head coach. You have 3 different head coaches. I don't think it was Casey Stoney really, and she was the last one to talk to us in that final press conference. She was like the voice of the last voice of the team from the players' perspective, I think, and she was constantly like talking to us. She would talk crap to us during press conferences because she'd get annoyed by answering the same questions, even though I didn't ask her the same question.
That was you, Abe. You pissed off Jaden Shaw.
Maybe,
I apparently got
maybe it was me.
Casey Stoney's gone because of me. Jaden Shaw's gone because of you.
Wow.
I'd be down.
Family Van Egmond because of Chiva. I mean, we're
yeah, haha. Look, Lynn keeps letting us know. I remember she was going to UNC before she declared for the NWSL. She was with the Spirit, then Wave got her via the discovery process. So she may have never wanted it. And that was a big part of it, right? When San Diego Wave first got Jaden Shaw, there was a whole, I guess, discussion of what was going to happen. I mean, I can definitely see Jaden Shaw just being like, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. I miss my family. I want to go back to back closer to home, wherever. Like, I just don't want to be here. And at the end of the day, you respect the player's choice and you find the best possible deal, which could be announced later this week.
Yeah. So I have a couple of sources just out there. Just again, with a player like Jaden Shaw, you would expect that the return that would be the last straw if the return doesn't warrant what Jaden Shaw is worth, and that's hopefully it gets managed well, it gets just negotiated correctly. This is all it's not gonna be a player coming back directly to replace from NC Courage. There's most likely going to be some allocation money and just transfer funds throughout, as well as obviously just different allowances that the team will get in order to fill out the roster. But you really hope that again the return is going to be something significant. I mean, looking at the deal that Maria Sanchez got, right? Like, I think the player of that level deserves, equal kind of restitution, equal demand, equal warrant.
Who would you say is better right now, Maria Sanchez or Jaden Shaw?
I mean, from the tail end of the season, Maria Sanchez.
They're similar positions.
They are similar positions.
I would still say Jaden Shaw is more important to the team than Maria Sanchez, because Maria plays on the wing and then Jaden Shaw is more of like a creative attacker.
I agree, but based on age, based on like everything that they've accomplished, I think Maria Sanchez price tag, I mean, was what it was. I think we'll see what they end up getting for Jaden Shaw. I mean, again, that's supposed to be coming out this week.
Sanchez is in her prime, and then Shaw is like about to reach her prime, I think is fair to say.
That's very, very, very hard to say when she's barely 20, 19, 20. Yeah, right. Like, so.
Yeah. You don't know when her prime
she's nowhere near her prime, and that's how good she is. So, I mean, by the time she's 26, 27, that's when we'll see the best out of Jaden Shaw. And I mean, it's crazy to think that that's still 7 years away. We never know what can happen in soccer. God forbid there's an injury, anything like that. But at this pace, Jaden Shaw is bound to be one of the best players for the women's national team, and it is a huge loss for San Diego Wave. Moving on from from Jaden Shaw, they also announced a new striker for this season, Chiamaka.
I got it. I got it, Chiva.
Let's hear it.
Chiamaka Okwuchukwu.
Okwuchukwu. Yep, you got it right.
Chiamaka Okwuchukwu.
Yeah.
The Nigerian striker, as you were mentioning, some of her accomplishments, CAF, the African Federation, young player, I believe of the year finalist.
Yeah.
I think this is again an exciting prospect. From what we've been hearing out of training, is that the players, plural, are really adding something different, a different layer to the San Diego Wave side. Whether it's going to gel together, is definitely going to be up to Jonas's team to really bring it all home. Whatever that playing style is going to be, it's going to really rely on how coachable these players are. These young players really are, right? You think of Melanie Barcenas, incredibly young. You think of Kimi Ascanio, incredibly young. You have some experience still, McCaskill there. You got Gascarino. You got some veteran players, but you also have some really, really good, solid players that would have come in through the expansion draft. I'm thinking about McMahon, who's going to probably play on the left back position, and then put them together, tape it together with a great goalkeeper like Kaylin Sheridan and Naomi Girma, which, by the way,
don't forget the new players they're getting from college. I mean, they have Trinity Byers. They got that new defender from UCLA as well.
Yeah.
So they have, like, just in general, they're building a pretty solid roster again. So again, now you have a new coach. Now you have a new ownership group. It's kind of like a clean slate for San Diego Wave. It's the 2025 year season. So fingers crossed, if you're a San Diego Wave fan, that it's going to be a lot different. It cannot get worse.
And you know what, Tanya? I appreciate you here in the comments. Tanya, guest of the show for the Call of Sirens, letting us know she wanted to go by Christabel. That's her middle name.
Awesome.
So Christabel, from here on out, will be how we refer to her, the preferred name. She's very excited to be here. The Sirens met Christabel. Cristabel at Lindbergh Field and welcomed her to San Diego. And I really think that's a really cool thing that San Diego Wave allows their official supporter groups to do and getting out there and welcoming. Yes, it is a 1-year contract, so it is through 2025. And maybe it's a trial period. It's funny how, like, I was looking at, that's a 1-year deal. And then you look at the 1-year deal on the other side of the team, on the other side of Snapdragon. Wish it was for 2 or 3 years, and maybe that's what it is, right? Like this is the feeling out period. Like let's see where this takes us.
You also got to remember there's visas, things involved, and all that. So
Correct.
I mean, a lot of times they get approved for a 1-year visa, which is why the contract has to be 1 year. There's a chance that gets extended, depending on how the process goes for immigration. New people taking the lead in that. So. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited. She's a tall player. She's physical. Like it looks like she's the real deal as well. So I think she'll gel well with the team. Abe, do you have any comments on?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite players to watch last year was a fellow Nigerian striker, Oshawala with Bay FC, and she's played with her on the national team. So if it's like a player that fits that mold, that can just. She looks faster than everyone else. A lot of these Nigerian players just are so fast and quick that having that pressure at the top and like making that press, which is what Jonas is supposed to be all about, like that high press and creating that pressure. It's something that the Wave were missing with Alex Morgan at the beginning of the year. She lost that first step, front foot quickness that like made teams worry about it. So if you have like a young player that can keep defenses worried, then that's a good thing. I think you guys are muted.
All right, yeah, no, Tony muted me as we're going to be welcoming a Esteban Toscano for our Sarapes segment. We're going to go ahead and put an end here on the San Diego Wave talk, and we're going to go ahead transition back to San Diego FC real quick with an interview by the sporting director of San Diego FC, Tyler Hibbs. So we'll be showing that right now.
Not bad, huh?
It's great. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. What do you think? Still a construction site, as you can hear and see, but they've done an unbelievable job. I mean, this has been a record build, I think, in terms of how quickly. I was here for groundbreaking, 14 months ago. Everything that needs to be done is done. The cafeteria, the locker room, the players are in the gym at the moment. The fields look immaculate. So there's still a few minor things. They're working still in the academy offices and in some of the academy locker rooms, but I mean, as you guys can see, it's pretty well along, and the players are obviously excited to be here.
What's this day feel like? Up to this point, it's been so on paper, so conceptual. Yeah. Does it feel more real today?
Yeah, I think there's been a few like emotional moments, I think. I mean, I joined this organization 15 months ago, Right to Dream, and there's been so much and so many people to thank, I think, since that moment. But just to get to here is already special, but now is when the real work starts. Now we get to actually see the players on the grass. I've looked at them on whiteboard for so long. So now it's about trying to find those last pieces and seeing how the staff in motion. I think it's been phenomenal to have the staff all together in this facility, but now is a time where they can go out and make their money on the pitch, which is what we're really excited to have.
What goes through your head to be your age, the youngest in that role in MLS, and to be entrusted with an expansion franchise like this?
I'm getting older every day. I'm getting more grays every single day, especially in this project. But look, it's a credit to Tom, to leadership, to ownership. They've obviously put a lot of pressure on me, but I enjoy it. I think that's why we work in this field, and as much as I can pay that back to them and get the right people in house. It was funny, I was talking to Fleming Pedersen from Right to Dream yesterday. He's the technical director, and he was like, "Oh, you seem calm." I said, yeah, that means I hired good people, because if you hire good people and let them do their job, I think I'm just in a role where I need to make sure that everything is operating in a good capacity. But I think we've done that. I think we've got a lot of really good people and a lot of really good players and professionals here.
So just to add to the pile, you decided to schedule a wedding in the middle of all this.
Yeah, I got married. Nothing changed there. I just got this ring. That's all I took from it. But we said goodbye at the airport the other day. But she's been texting me, asking me how everything is. It's good to have a wife like that, because she's like, okay, you had all these individual player meetings. What one was the best? What one was the worst? So it's good to have somebody, and she helps me in this job, because obviously her profession is at the highest in her field, and so we try to continue to grow each other.
Does she jokingly, unofficially, be trying to be a technical advisor for you at this point?
I think so. She gives me a lot of advice, and I take it, because she's done quite a bit with her career. So if we can have half the amount of success that she had, we'll be one of the most successful clubs in the world.
Tyler, obviously a couple new players signed since the last time we spoke to you. I want to ask about Anis Saidi, a 16-year-old from the Union. What can you tell us about him? How do you feel like he'll fit in? He's in the preseason roster.
Yeah, he's in the gym at the moment. Unbelievable person, first and foremost. He knows where he's at in his career. We tracked him. I joked with him when we did our individual meeting. We saw him 14 months ago at MLS Next Fest in Phoenix, and all of our scouts obviously were sat around. That field was packed because Kevin Sullivan was playing, but one of our scouts from our head of scouting from Africa said that's the player. So we're ecstatic to be able to get a player of his caliber. We know he has a lot of growth to do, but he'll be here. We have no plans to loan him. We have a plan for him. He'll be integrated with our international academy at times, but he'll be within the first team, and we're excited to see what he has.
And I wanted to ask, what, compared to other expansion teams, what are some advantages or disadvantages you feel like this club has faced during the time coming up to the season now?
I think the advantages are for sure the backing of Right to Dream. I think we have a football philosophy, and we have an idea of how we want to play and how we want to build a roster. That was extremely helpful, I think, in the whole process. Another advantage is where we are in the world. I think that's an advantage and a disadvantage. It's an advantage because we have this unbelievable facility. It's a disadvantage because of the tax rate and everything else that comes with it, and that's challenging whenever you're having conversations with some of these players, especially outside of Europe. But I think we're really happy with where we're at currently, but there's still a ton of work to do. There's not only a ton of work to do on the facility, but there's also a ton of work to do in terms of just finding those final pieces, and then obviously making it all to come together and how we want to play.
Talking about where we are in the region, you just kind of mentioned that, the Cholos on both the men's and women's side, you have the Wave team in addition to the Soccers. What does it mean to finally add an MLS team here in San Diego for the larger region between San Diego and Tijuana?
I'm not from here. I have no ties to here, but it's special to me, so I can only imagine what it's like to everybody from this region. I had a chance to talk to Sammy Kanan, who's obviously here, one of the players that we drafted, who's obviously here on trial, and I just asked him, I said, did you ever think this would happen? And he's like, no, I never expected anything to this capacity. I think, look, there's been tremendous amounts of success here from a footballing standpoint, but just the investment from ownership, the facility, and everything that comes with it, I think we've got a lot of people that are really excited. And we also know that we have a big task at hand, and that's obviously to come and make them proud. And we know we need to do that early and often. So excited to obviously continue to connect with the community. It was awesome to have the supporters out yesterday to see the backing, but we need to continue to build on that and make sure that obviously we can prove it now.
And this facility is very unique for multiple reasons. What are you kind of hoping this maybe could lead to for soccer in the region or for SDFC?
I think it's the field of dreams, right? I mean, you look at this valley where we are, the mountain backdrop. I mean, it's amazing coming to work every morning. With the Sequan tribe obviously allowing us to be on here, the blessing the other day was amazing. That's again goes back to our commitment from ownership group. But we want to be a staple here. We want this to not only be a place for us, but but a home for national teams to come and visit whenever they're here. We want to show this place off. I think it's exciting. It's an exciting place, but it's also in an unbelievable part of the world.
Speaking of showing it off, will there be opportunities for fans and the public to come down here and check it all out?
Yeah, I think that's in the plan. To have, we obviously had something like 200 supporters out here yesterday. Some of the supporters group, the ability to obviously say hi to our players for the first time. I think that was really important, and we'll for sure find opportunities to do that because we'll be an open door policy here. Whenever clubs want to come and visit, we'll obviously open our doors and show them how we work because we think that's our way to only continue to advance ourselves and learn from each other.
And how will the academy, how will it fit in working here in this facility?
I mean, this will be the home to it. That'll obviously won't happen until August, whenever they move in. But we'll make the selection of players starting in April. So there's a lot of exciting events coming up there that we're excited to get the first group of players here. But I think that will be another wow moment. We have had a couple wow moments. We had day one whenever they came into the medicals. Today's another wow moment, the first day on the field. But really to then have those little kids with those dreams from this community come here as well, that will be another one, I think, whenever that first crop gets announced.
What were the details of that Saquon blessing?
Just they obviously it's their land, and I think they do that for all of their kind of new openings and new beginnings. And so they came and obviously blessed it with sage smoke and did some of their rituals. They did some dancing and some singing. It was we brought some of the local members and community here, and it was fantastic to see because again I've been to a couple of those events, and every time they do it, it's exciting because obviously it goes back. Their history is second to none in this community, and so to have them here was fantastic.
What's a reasonable expectation in year one, in your mind?
We're here to compete. We've said multiple times we for sure want to be in the playoffs. We're building a roster we think that will allow us to get there, and then the rest of it's let's see what happens. I think after that point, we want to come and compete. We want to come and play our football, but we also know that it's difficult and there'll be challenges. But we need to fight through those, obviously, and we have enough quality and investment where we think we can do that.
Seeing all the players come together now, are you optimistic of how the season will play out, or are there a few pieces missing still?
I got to see them on the field first. So today's and this week obviously is a big week, but we still have a few pieces. I think there's still 3 to 5 players that we'll bring in. Obviously, we made another announcement today in Oni, and we think that he'll bring a lot to our team here in 2025. But there are still a few pieces. We're still probably missing a right winger. We're still probably missing another midfielder, another right back, and probably another center back. So those are kind of our key priorities right now. But we'd like to see the team. So maybe it's not going to come in the next couple of days, but over the coming weeks, I think you'll see a few more announcements.
And this takes us to the surprise guest here. And we still have Abe there, which transition and segments us into our Sarape segment. With that, we welcome Esteban Toscano from the Baller Crew to the garage, to the Two Balls at a Mic studios for the first time.
Yes.
So,
Welcome.
Yes.
season's greetings to you. Welcome in,
Season's greetings.
Esteban. Obviously very involved in the community. And with that, you just heard Tyler Heaps. We had Tom Penn earlier just talk about what's real now. It's a real thing. Players are showing up day one. What does this make you feel as a just a supporter and a follower of San Diego FC, just seeing this happen and roll out?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me in studio. This setup, guys, like just seeing it so many times, just live streaming, just on my couch, just like streaming it on my TV is just really cool to see in person. Like,
You mean the fucking mess on that side?
yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of
that's
it.
my
Like,
way.
we got our studio too. Brandon and I, well, it's Brandon's garage, but we have our studio and stuff that we would film some videos there. But yeah, no, I'm very excited about everything that's happening. Like every week is just getting more real and more real. That moment was amazing. The event was so sick. First of all, thank you guys so much for allowing us to be there. Like the first ones to like step in, like outside the public and stuff. It was very cool. A very, very cool moment.
So walk us through it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
all the supporters, the union gathers up. I think it's over 200 people that showed up.
Yeah.
Was it a march to go into it? Players were already waiting. How was that? How did it play out?
So Originally, I heard that it was supposed to be a surprise, but they were already chanting. They were like practicing all the drums, so the players already knew. But yeah, the Jerry Jimenez, who is the supporters liaison or director. What is his specific role?
Liaison,
Yeah. So he gave us like the rundown, like, hey, like no pictures, no nothing. That's why there's not a lot of pictures. Like a lot of, I mean, some people did take pictures, but I didn't want to break the rules and stuff like that.
Don't want to break rules.
Closed-toed shoes. No pyro, no smoking, no. Just like be aware of your surroundings because it's still a construction site.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. But yeah, we were they were practicing for around like I would say like an hour or so, and then Jerry came out. He laid down like the rules and stuff. We walked, and then it was like when you go in, there's like stairs, and then there's like a hallway. Staff were waiting for us there, and then they just lined us up behind like a line, and then we were waiting for the players. Players came out, but we were chanting the whole time. Like, the whole time it was like chants. It was like super loud, like insane for like 200 something people. It was awesome just to see like their faces and just like see everything coming together. It's it's amazing. It's amazing. Just seeing Chucky and seeing all the players in their like designer clothes and stuff like that. But and then some of the people that are in trial, right? Like Chris Hyman, like you guys reported it, so now it's out there.
Yeah, it's out there.
I can say it.
It's out there.
I've trained, but like in a camp clinic, soccer clinic aspect of it. Like I've played with him and stuff like that, but not like in that level. But yeah, he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably one of the fittest guys out there. You know, we were just mentioning again, and you know this, right? In the training aspect of things, as soon as you join a new team or as soon as you start the season, first thing is conditioning. Conditioning. You know, Chunky Lozano out there.
I'm just saying, man. Like I saw him today. He
looked fine.
No, he looks fine, but he was huffing and puffing a little bit. You know,
he looks fine.
He's still recovering from that injury. Obviously, he got some minutes with PSV after, but. You know, le entró los tamales, and that's okay. We all did.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, same.
These are the players that when preseason starts, they have the best dietitians, the best like workout people to help them out, like the best professionals at everything, and they get match fit within a couple weeks. Like this, Chucky can have a lonjita today, and then literally by match day 1, he's ripped.
But it's no hazard moment with Madrid. No, he's looking good out there.
Yeah, for sure he is. And I mean, today that's kind of like what I really enjoyed watching, just seeing the players get to know each other, passing the ball back and forth. I mean, it's exciting stuff, and I can tell Esteban, your face lights up every time you talk about the players, like and the designer clothes and everything.
Yeah.
What are you looking most forward to this season? Obviously, with San Diego FC and the players and the roster that they currently have.
What am I most looking forward to? That's a really good question. Well, I want that support section to be packed.
Yeah.
Like that has to be packed when LAFC come. Like we got to be prepared for that. And by the looks of it, like it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. Talking to some of the groups, Riptides, the locals, and Frontera Ultras, like all of them. Like it seems like they're really getting organized, and time is ticking. So people are like really starting to like, oh shit, like I better sign up or like I'm gonna get left behind type thing. But yeah, I'm just expecting to see so many goals. I want them to play fast, play exciting soccer, and just have Snapdragon Stadium just be like a fortress, and like we don't lose at Snapdragon.
And sorry, I want to piggyback.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, there's a question for you too, as well, Tony. Like, not Chucky Lozano, not one of the big signings they have so far, but who are you most excited to just see get on the field? Like I'm talking just any player that it's on the preseason roster. Who are you excited to kind of get to watch this?
Well, hopefully, if they pass their trials, the drafted player, Sami Kanan. I watched him so many times for USD, and obviously Chris Jaime on trial. Hopefully, they make it. I don't know how that works, contracts or anything like that, homegrown contracts. So many types of contracts in the MLS, but hopefully some of these SD players, SD local guys get some minutes. Like I want to see that. I want to see that.
Does it disappoint you to not, or do you understand, or do you like? How do you feel about not getting a local superstar like Paul Arriola, Brandon Vasquez, to come back here to San Diego and play for SDFC? Does that kind of put a bad taste in your mouth? Like, oh, why didn't we? Or just, I mean, the greatest. They have a plan, right? If they wanted Paul Arriola, they could have ponied up $300,000 for Paul Arriola. Like they could have ponied up the money for Brandon Vasquez and brought him here. But is that really the idea and identity that Right to Dream, SDFC wants, and Mikey Varas is having in mind? But what do you take away from that?
Maybe a little bit of bitter taste. Honestly, I do follow Austin FC. My guy CJ Fodry, shout out CJ Fodry. He's killing it out there. Who knows how? I saw he did the beep test. He didn't pass. He didn't like win the beep test, but he was in the mix. He was in the mix. But no, shout out CJ and shout out Austin FC. I follow them and just seeing like the rollout, seeing how they celebrated Brandon Vasquez, giving him the 9 and stuff like that. Kind of feel jealous. Like we would have had that moment to like really welcome him in. But it is what it is. The SDFC bros, shout out Vince, shout out Carlos. They put a good post saying like, oh, maybe it's not the end of the world. I mean, it is a DP spot, and we still need a right wing. We still need a right back. So not taking another striker, maybe that was the correct play. I mean, and Vertzen is there, Tomas, Angel, whoever can play up there. I need to memorize the roster, to be honest. But yeah, I feel like Vince and Carlos made a good analysis of like, it's not the end of the world if we don't get Brandon Vasquez.
Absolutely. Brandon had a $10 million transfer fee. No thanks. It's Mr. Michael Faree. I mean, that's very true. That's very true. And where in a league where you really have to be strategic of how you allocate the money, the gammon, the tam, the allocation money. It's hard pressed to really kind of say that you're going to follow a certain style, that you're going to go and be frugal in some ways. And maybe this is just, again, them getting all the money possible for a big money move. And we'll get to Mikey Vadas' interview here in a bit. And it's very interesting what he said, because clearly one of the big signings is, again, Oni Valakari. He's a Finnish striker. He played in the Euros. He played and trains behind Premier League striker Pukki, who over at Norwich, and just has a very interesting route. Played in Cyprus. Is going to be very interesting to see, but he can play in a 10, and he's already on the team. He was out in training today, but Mikey Vadas.
I didn't see him yesterday. I don't think I saw him yesterday because. We got to say hi to every single player. Like we dapped up every single player, and like I gave a big hug to Chucky. I was like,
not gonna
dude,
lie,
dale crack.
I'm not sure if Abe can correct me on this. I didn't see him.
He was in the office collecting his number 8.
Technically,
jersey.
he wasn't on he's not on the preseason roster because they released that before. But I do think he's going to be joining the training camp probably as soon as tomorrow.
And so clearly already announced part of the team, and he can play in a 10. But what Mikey Vada said is that, well, they're still looking for a potential 10. I know about a big superstar with a big price tag that can play in a 10. Who's by
that?
the way,
who's that?
who by the way, and this is where our friend Tyler Heaps kind of ended or just put this back is, I'm not going to talk about players that aren't part of the team.
100%.
Clearly, 100%. However, he added, there have not been any formal offers for Kevin De Bruyne as of right now. That doesn't mean there won't be, but that's kind of where SDFC is right now with Kevin De Bruyne and that. But
and shout out to Morvilla for reporting that.
Absolutely,
having that out there, translating from Spanish as well. I don't want to kind of kill the vibe, Esteban, but in this next interview that we show from Mikey Vadas, he may or may not mention 2 of the super draft players that they got that are going to be sent back to college. I'll let him speak on that one.
Okay.
But he did mention 2 names, and you'll get to hear it.
Oh, no.
because he did mention it's the best fit for them. They're
Okay.
just probably not ready for MLS, and doesn't mean they won't get a chance in the future, but they will be getting sent back to college. So
Okay.
I don't know, Tony, if you ready to play this out?
Gotcha. All right, let's hear from head coach for San Diego FC, Mikey Varas.
Day of practice, what are you most excited about just to get the guys out there and just kind of get to know them a bit?
Yeah, the two most important things is football. Football is our passion, and so just to hear the football rolling, and then being around the energy of players, seeing them do their thing, seeing them get to know each other.
You know, we asked Tyler about the squad that's put together. He mentioned a couple pieces still missing, a right winger, a right back. What are the qualities you're looking for those missing pieces still?
Yeah, so we're going to look for a right winger who can make the difference in the game, goals, assists, who can play in the inside half space pocket. And then we're looking for a number 10 who can really make sure that we connect our build-up to our finishing attack phase, right? And that we're able to serve up our front line to get them in best conditions to score goals.
And I am curious, once the players are out there, what are the qualities you're looking for when choosing a captain or a co-captain as well?
So we look for a few things. We look for how they connect, how people connect with each other, how selfless they are, do they carry water, who's able to manage conflict in a healthy way, meaning who's able to hold people accountable but also be held accountable, who's motivating, is there somebody who does a good job at motivating the group through words, and then who executes, right, who's just consistently demonstrating. So only time will tell, and trainings will tell, but that will emerge.
What's unique or special, I mean, obviously, but in your words, about launching an expansion team, being here from day one, a day like today, there'll never be another first day like this.
Yeah.
What's that all feel like? How do you kind of process all of it?
So it's kind of unbelievable, right? Like it's a pinch yourself every single day moment. It's an incredible honor, because we not only represent Sir Mansour and his family, the Siquan tribe, but we represent every citizen of San Diego. We represent the people in Tijuana, because it's part of our MLS territory. And so you also feel this tremendous responsibility. And I think it sure has awoken even more passion in me to make sure that I do everything possible to honor these steps the right way.
Now that the team is going on the field, what kind of personality, team personality, what kind of style of play do you want to let fans know that they'll see coming up?
Yeah, so two things. One, style of play starts with an idea, right? And so this comes from our staff. And what we want to see is we want to see a team that's brave to play, that builds up with purpose, creative verticality, that they're dynamic with the ball. We also want to see a team that's relentless, who's got a warrior mentality to press, be aggressive, but also to defend the goal when they need to as a whole team, not just with the backline players. We want a front line who's willing to put in that work. So it starts with an idea, but then it becomes reality when the players do it. And the final personality of the team will be heavily dictated on the personality and individual skill set of the players. Starting point is with the ideas that I want to get across, but the ending point is so much more valuable.
How do you think the passion for soccer in this region, both sides of the border, might impact you guys going forward, both in the stadium, maybe as a team culture? How do you think that plays a role?
Massive, because I think it's an area, it's a region that appreciates football and is actually very well educated in football. So with all the youth clubs, with the Latino population here, they're going to want to see exciting football, and they're going to want to see effective football. So that's definitely going to impact, right? Because that puts that lights a fire under you to make sure you come and do the good job. And then at the end of the day, with that passion, when we're hitting on all cylinders and the fans are hitting on cylinders, I think we're going to have a game day experience that will be unrivaled in all of North America.
How are you dealing with the pressure of the excitement of someone like Chukia as well as the rest of the team? Like, how do you kind of wrap your head around that with about a month to go before the season?
I take it day by day. First is getting them in the building, getting them to get to know each other, giving them an idea of what we want to do culture-wise. And now we start on the field. So now focusing what we can do on the field, and then just having a lot of contact with the players. Like the more contact we can have, player to player, staff to staff, staff to player, the quicker that we're going to be able to align our personalities to make sure that we are as dynamic and integrated a team as possible.
What's the benefit of the work with the national team, and then conversely, what do you have to leave behind because this situation is unique and different?
Yeah, that's a great question. Two things that come to mind that are an advantage is, I took over a U20 national team that hadn't played together for 2 years because of the pandemic. So I have experience starting something from scratch where the guy next to him is introducing himself or haven't met each other. The other thing is in the national team, you have a very short time to work to get your ideas across. So, next preseason is going to be totally different than this preseason because we're going to have a year of experience playing the style of play. But this season, we're starting from zero. There's no previous history of how we work. So I'm going to be able to use that, be able to get ideas across quickly and concisely that I got from the national team for sure. And basically the secret to that is keep it simple and don't get in the way. But then I would say things that I got to put off to the side is we work every day together over the course of 10 months. So we have to manage energy levels the right way. Or in the national team, it's pedal to the metal for 12, 14 days, 6 weeks if it's a tournament, because then you don't see each other for a bit. So those would be the main differences.
Have any of the super draft selections reported to training camp?
Yeah, they're all here.
They all have?
Yep, Ian's here, and all of them. Donovan Systems is here, Sammy's here.
What have you seen so far, and is it likely that they make the roster?
So we have two guys, so Donovan and Sammy, that we will send back to college because it's the right path for them. We don't have a second team right now, so it's important that they're in good environments, but they're with us to start getting an idea of what we want to do. And then Ian has a full opportunity to make the roster, and a lot of that will be up to him and how he competes during preseason.
Mikey, it looks like a lot of the players are on the younger side as well. I think the average was probably around 25 years old for the age of the team. How important was it to bring a veteran like Boateng into a team that has so much MLS experience?
Yeah, when we looked at the roster build, we wanted youth, but we also wanted to balance that with experience and leadership because we're here to win at the end of the day. This is the first team. This is not a development stage. We are going to develop young players in the process, but the first and foremost priority is to win. So getting MLS experience and getting leadership experience guys in the team was massively important.
Head coach Mikey Varas, head coach for San Diego FC. Mikey Varas, great stuff out there, Chiva.
Yeah, so I mean,
killed it. Absolutely.
Sorry. I mean, I know you want Sammy in the team, but he will have another year of college. And you know what? That doesn't mean there's no MLS in his future, So like you said, there's no second team yet. Half thinking of the player's environment has to be the best option for them. But yeah, so I mean, there's preseason. There's 2 closed door games, one against Phoenix, one against Sac Republic. We all know those teams back in the Loyal days. Nobody will know anything about those games. Maybe Phoenix or in Sacramento will post on socials. Yeah. That's usually how it goes. This small division team will still post, hey, we beat an MLS team or something like that.
Yeah.
The first game we'll see. Are you going to Coachella, the invitation?
I am going. I am planning on going to the 8th. I don't know about the Wednesday game.
Same. Yeah.
The Saturday is still a maybe, but the 8th, 100%, I'll be there.
It's the big one. That is the first official game that SDFC will play in front of fans. I know for that 15th one, Wave plays on the 16th. So I know if you're able to make the trip, rent out a hotel room, everything, and spend the weekend in Coachella, go for it. It's hard for some of us to do all that. But yeah, the 8th is going to be a big one. Yes. They play, they're going to play New York City FC,
New York Red Bulls,
and Portland,
Charlotte?
Portland Timbers.
Portland Timbers.
So those are going to be 3 really good tests. And then February 23rd, Dignity Health Sports Park against LA Galaxy, defending MLS champions. You're making the trip too?
Most likely, yeah. With the supporters, I talked to the Riptides about it and to some other groups. They have around set amount of tickets. I don't want to say the specific amount. I don't want to leak any information that I know. But they say that maybe some spots are not filling. So, but I'm down to go to Carson. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so down. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, still available $18 tickets. Join the SDFC Independent Supporter Union for that. So make sure you join on there. Be part of the $18 ticket at Snapdragon that ends January 24th. So a quick plug for our great friends over at the Supporters Union from there. All right. So Mikey Varas, Tyler Heaps, Tom Penn giving their final, I guess, theoreticals about this team, because again, players are rolling together, rolling in, and I mean it's the thing that now we start talking tactics. Now we start talking X's and O's. Now we have something to really chomp at, because this whole time we've, as we're going to talk about right now, it was announced by we've been alluding to it, Valakari coming on from Cypriot side, which is Cyprus, Paphos FC through the 2025 MLS season with an option in 2026. Valakari will occupy a 2025 international roster spot, and will be added upon receipt of his P1 visa. That's why the announcement is so important for the P1 visas on there. And so, from what I understand, this is a good player, a family of football. His dad was a former a football player. His brother is actually also a former football player.
Oh.
He had the option to play under the Scottish flag. Yeah, so he has a Scottish family who's, I believe, born in Scotland, but ended up deciding to play for Finland. Whenever presented the option, FIFA rules, you already played a cap for Finland, so therefore there you are. He scored on his debut in 2020 against France. And
that's pretty cool.
Have you seen the goal, Esteban?
Maybe.
Let's see. Let's
see
just
this
throw this
goal.
out there. And again, we'll just kind of talk about the profile of one Mr. Valakari here. As his compatriot is celebrating on his own goal. And this is, I mean, look, that's LAFC legend, Giroud right there, but que golazo.
He's got a nasty foot on him
Bang.
for sure.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a nasty left foot, and
Ni con las uñas. Damn.
nope, that's the reactions of the opposition, just like, oof, like, yeah, I gotta give it to him. Just the dip, the bend, perfectly placed, good technique, and it takes courage. Like, yeah, tell me about it, right, man? But yeah, so a lot of the profile that we've seen from this player is that he's that elastic, just like dynamic, tall, pacey type of center midfielder. Can play in the center mid position, can play in the 10, and move up and really, again, move with that shape. There's a lot of dynamic play with what SDFC has in its roster that, we're talking about Boateng, who can play in the right wing position. He can play as a center mid. He can go back and defend pretty well and bring that ball back up and really change that shape. We've been talking about the 4-3-3 that Mikey Vadas is going to promote out there. So that midfield, Sveskov driving everything. That's him. That's the number 6 position. He's going to drive everything. Next to him, you put Valakari. Potentially, you can then add another 10, because you can have Oni being able to go in and be that box to box midfielder. He is that 8. That's why he get awarded that. Think Frank Lampard. Think Gerard. Just that role of being able to go ahead and do that, create, defend, and really manage that midfield. But then again, you can also get creative and put another center mid. Depend how the balance is, but that shape is going to change. 3-5-2, 4-3-3.
And then
throughout the games,
your defensive midfielders are kind of set with Yepe and then Mano Diop, right? Who can also play as a rotational player. I mean, he has the size, he has the Busquets style. That's his inspiration. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what he kind of develops with San UFC. That could potentially be a huge, huge player for San UFC in the future. He's only, what, 19, 20?
Something like that, yeah.
He's young still.
Too bad we have Valakari for only one loan, one season.
Yeah, option for 2026, and I think that's
option.
That's the key there. Where if he impresses and he does look like he'll become part of the squad, and
I also saw SDFC got some money from one of the players that they traded from the Super Draft to Toronto, I believe, that they already traded to somewhere else, or got sold somewhere
Andrade?
else.
Was it
Andrade.
Andrade? Yeah, the Brazilian.
And they ended up getting some money off of that as
Mhm.
well. So I mean, good business is being made by San Diego
Yeah.
FC, man. Like Tyler Heaps, I mean, we've spoken to him about it.
He does his
he
homework.
crunches the numbers and he's like, no, this player should be worth this. I'm not spending this much money on this player. I'm not gonna overspend 10 million on Brandon Vasquez.
Take a look at this goal by Tony Valacari. Again, just what you can expect from
They're bangers.
you know, just
Oh my God.
lethal
What fraternities are that?
fraternities.
Yeah, the names on the teams.
Oh, yeah, that is
Look at that.
that is a that's a
Kappa,
different,
Alpha.
it's a different
Omega.
alphabet, Chiva. I'm actually surprised you understood. That's a great pass, great vision here, and again,
What a ball.
you know,
Offsides, but no.
well, the funny thing about highlights is that they're highlights.
Yeah.
Right. Like you don't necessarily see the misses, or you don't really see, you know, what happens when this player's under pressure and loses the ball. They're going to track back, or they're going to fight tooth and nail to, you know, become the first defender when they do make a mistake. But again, what I've seen so far and again, these highlights is somebody who has a nose for goal, who's somebody who's not afraid to take a shot. That left foot of his is incredibly educated.
And his right finishing apparently with this one
Yeah,
too.
finishing, passing. There's actually a highlight coming up where he actually does a great little layoff pass, running close to the corner to the end line. But look at the paciness on him. You can throw him out on the wing as a dual center attacking mid if that's the threat that you want to go ahead and have. But I think San Diego FC players should be very excited by this. Also,
free kick taker.
also free kicks and penalties. I think he's your guy.
I'm letting you know
Wow.
this guy is bound to be a starter in this team right
100%.
now. Like,
Yeah,
He got the 8.
undoubtedly.
You
Yeah,
got
he
the
got
number
number
8.
eight.
Like
Yeah,
you're
100% he's gonna
you're
play.
starting
Yeah.
in San Diego FC. San Diego
Right
FC
here,
fans
right here.
get to know
Oh, yeah,
this
no, that
guy.
one.
He's based on these videos, right? He has it all. He has the touch, he has the pass, he has the vision, he has the pace, he has the finishing, and it's kind of like what SDFC needs right now. If this is going to be the
that's pretty
starting
bad.
center attacking mid, if he is able to perform at the MLS level, obviously, why spend money on a Kevin De Bruyne? Obviously, Kevin is world class.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that
everyone
would
would
be
love to see him here at San Diego FC. I mean, there's other options over there. I mean, they're still trying to get a right winger as well. I mean, I think that's also a priority that they need. I mean, who knows? This guy can also play on the wing. So, like, I think the possibilities are endless for San Diego FC, and it's going to be so much fun to see how the roster develops over the next couple of weeks. Tyler Heaps did say that there could be some announcement being made later this week as well.
Okay.
So there is 3 to 5 players that they're still wanting to sign. So he said there could be announcements made soon. So
That's awesome. Is Valacari he's obviously an international spot, but if we do get him in 2026, is he a DP spot? Like, what's his market value?
So market value is currently, I believe, in the.
I think it's lower, man.
Oh,
Like, I mean, Cyprus. Like,
yeah.
You don't hear Cyprus and say, "Oh yeah." Like, I think Greg Elson today, when he had me on, he said, "Is Cyprus the new hotbed of soccer?" I'm like, apparently, man. Like, I mean, you
what is he worth?
Transfer market, Tony.
What does it say?
Should say at the beginning.
Oh wait, it's transfer market. I'm on the stats sheet.
Yeah, because if we do get him and he's like that quality, is he worth the DP spot and stuff like that, or just like an international slot?
I will say this, and not to bring it down. There were comments out there, and I'll get your honest take. And this is something that people were really talking about in a city in San Diego that is very conscious about the ethos of their soccer players. And, you know, the supporters have always been supporters of equality, diversity, and all that. This might be a player that may have said something. Is that something that's important at this point in the greater sense of things? Like, it's a good point where, you know,
it's actually valued at $2 million. Sorry.
Yeah,
Really?
sorry.
Yeah.
2 million?
2 million. What's the E with the 2 lines? That's
euros.
Euros.
That is
2 million
euros.
euros then. Yeah.
Okay.
But does that weigh anything on who you support? It's just like everybody, like, if we really want to take a look at it, like,
That's a DP spot.
I think people would.
It is a DP spot.
I would say so. No,
But what is the difference like between an international slot and a DP spot? Like, what are is it just like, okay, DP spot you can spend however much money you want, and then an international spot is just just someone that doesn't have a visa.
My guy, we're learning together.
Yeah,
I would believe that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a
Actually,
lot
that
of
makes
sense.
a lot
Yeah,
of
right?
sense.
What's
Yeah.
the gam and the tam still? I'm still confused and all that, But
True.
it would make sense if you have a DP spot, then you still have international spots available.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
they
makes
did make
sense.
trades and got more international spots
Yeah.
for this same reason. They had this guy already pretty much on lockdown and alone. They said, let us get a couple more international slots.
Okay.
The rules are wild
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Major League Soccer, and I think we're all here in San Diego.
In
We're all
Major League
learning
Soccer,
in
yes.
Major League Soccer. We're all learning as we're
Mhm.
going.
Yeah.
There are those few soccer nerds that I love you so much, and when I have conversations with you, I am like, just my jaw drops because they know what all the rules are, and I'm like, let me
Yeah.
have your brain this season. And
Shout out
then-
Vince,
yeah.
dude. Vince knows his stuff. Like
Yeah.
I talking to him to the Chrome Ball tours and events, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like this guy knows ball. Guy knows ball.
Do you know how many international spots you can have at the MLS? Unlimited, because international spots can be traded.
Yeah.
And they can just be used as
True.
as bargaining
Yeah,
chips.
yeah.
I do think there's I think Chicago Fire at some point just like traded all of them. Or just a lot, like a vast majority of them
Wow.
just traded them
I
away.
rock
just
with them,
where
kind
they
of
would
like
come back.
Chivas, all Mexican. They want
Yeah,
all
yeah,
American. I did saw a report on Twitter that the Philadelphia Union are on the banned list for FIFA to make
Oh.
trades right now.
DB has a max cap hit. You can pay over
Maybe because
for the
of business with
DP.
Manchester City. I don't know.
I
don't know.
Domestic players can be DPs as well. So yeah, it doesn't take
Oh,
a
wow.
spot there.
Okay.
Infinite amount of international roster spots, but only 3 DP spots exactly. So you can trade those as
Mhm.
well.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Patty McNair a DP signing?
No, I don't
No.
think he was.
No, right?
No,
Okay,
no,
cool.
just Chucky.
Okay.
We have two more.
Abe and I were talking about that, and I thought he was, but okay, just Chucky. Got it.
George here says MLS rules are meant to be equal, but to make the teams help be equal. But looking at certain teams, they are spending lots of money. Miami and Atlanta, actually. If you want to compete internationally, they have to look at spending cap. But again, competing internationally means competing against Liga MX teams, not La Liga teams, not Premier League teams, not Bundesliga teams. Like you're trying to win the MLS,
Mhm.
like win MLS overall. Just that's just the league that you are in. That's I would think that's priority number one. Thank you for everybody who's contributing here. Anybody without a green card or citizenship, so you'd be a international slot Chiva.
I'm a citizen.
Yeah.
Asshole. What the fuck? What's wrong with you?
Are you?
Yeah, I was born in LA.
How's that going for you?
Shout out to LA. I
Shout
mean,
out to LA.
if
Shout
you're
out LA.
trying to make donations, let me know. I have a close friends and family friends that are driving up to LA to make donations. So let me
Okay.
know. And I mean, obviously, if you can donate. I mean, I don't know if you guys have, but
Yeah.
it makes me so sad seeing all the shelter videos of the doggies and cats and
I
animals.
avoid those.
It's
I actively
sad.
avoid those because
It's
of that,
sad,
because
man.
of them, because of
Yeah.
that. You know, and it's good to see when people rally around sports and just kind of help this out and help this cause out. So
Well, all the LA professional sports teams gathered together and donate over $8 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
They're
shout
doing a
out.
lot of campaigns. Like
Mhm.
I've seen Fabletics like do like a shirt, and it's like every single LA club, anything
Yeah.
like that, and all the donations go to the ones that need it. But yeah, no, I've donated it, and I got people up there. Shout out Osman, Caitlin. Like these are just like international freestyles that are insane. They can do anything.
Yeah.
And then just some HPA guys that we know, Brandon and I know. So hopefully they're okay.
Shout out to my tia. Good.
Shout
Lives
out.
close to
How's-
Santa Monica.
How's her freestyling skills?
I mean, she's freestyling from
can
her
do it around the
apartment.
world?
Didn't have to get evacuated, so that's good. No, she cannot do it around the world.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry.
okay. Well, I guess
Shout
she
out,
did
yeah.
needs to work on it. MLS just introduced new trade system. Yes, correct. So
I
they do
saw
have
that.
new cash, just incentive, not incentive, just the, there's monopoly money now. Like there's more of it.
Here's $250,000. You have to report how much was spent for the player. But yeah, they can do cash transactions now. So maybe that's stepping away from the GAM and the TAM. Finally,
Cash transaction. Oh.
With some,
I'll give you $1 if you give me that cup. Hey, post it, announce it. Hey guys, Tony, I got this cup from Tony for $1. He got the $1, show the $1, and that's how that's
So
done.
maybe it's like a trade with no strings attached, like
Yeah.
no like rules.
It's just cash.
It's just
Straight
yeah.
cash.
Okay.
Which SDFC has a lot of cash.
All right, Juan. Still can't believe Chiva compared Kevin De Bruyne playing in the Premier League to only playing in Cyprus. I don't think that's not. It's not what it was. I hope.
No, it's not what it was. Took that out of context. I meant like if this guy's playing and you don't have to spend money, if this guy ends up being a success factor, then go for it. I mean, at the end of the day, that Kevin De Bruyne deal is probably a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah.
From what we heard from our sources in the past, he wanted Messi money, and obviously they're not going to pay that. So I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't want to spend that much money on Kevin De Bruyne and you sign this player that could potentially also make an impact, stick with it. That's kind of like the philosophy that it looks like San Diego FC is going with. So by no means am I comparing Kevin De Bruyne with this player. Like obviously Kevin De Bruyne is on a whole different level.
Let's put it this way. I'll give it to you, Esteban. Would you care more, or would you like it more if I gave you the option of say, hey, tomorrow, Kevin De Bruyne signed 10 San Diego FC, done deal, 5 years, retires here, everything, like whatever. Like he builds just all the soccer fields for SDFC. He meets you and you become personal friends and you're awesome and great. Okay, let's take the personal friends.
Yeah,
part.
you were
That's a little
hyping it
too much.
way
Sorry,
too
that's
much. I was like,
okay.
okay,
Okay, Kevin De Bruyne is here. He has a contract San Diego FC. However, San Diego FC will never win a championship with Kevin De Bruyne. However, with Oni Valakari, you win the MLS season. You win the championship of the MLS Cup. Is here.
Yeah.
Which one do you take?
Oh, I'd take Valakari. Like, I mean, KDB,
I think that's the point.
KDB would be awesome, but like, we gotta think.
The goal is championships.
Exactly.
And that has to be
100%.
the end goal for anyone that just follows his team. I mean, at the end of the day, the city is yelling, crying for a championship somewhere.
Jesus, please.
Somewhere, Tony. You're from here, born and raised. Like,
I'm not a SDFC fan, not a Wave fan. I'm
San
just a
Diego
San
fan.
Diego fan, man. And San Diego, I have the Soccers, barely. Oceanside.
Hey, don't get in trouble now.
Yeah, no.
Don't get in trouble now.
Yeah, we're gonna get yelled at by a Front Wave Arena who's sentient. The arena welcomes you and says, "Hi, I am Front Wave Arena. Thank you for coming and seeing." Like
I never noticed that. I've gone to 2 games. By the way, Front Wave Arena, very nice.
Magnifique.
Very nice.
Almost worth the drive.
Hey, you work for the team. When's the celebrity media game?
Okay, technicalities. I don't work for the team because nobody works for the team.
My bad.
Work for Front Wave.
When's the celebrity media game? We got a
That's
celebrity right here.
Great.
He better be in the game. Brandon better be in the game.
You understand that they're the first call if I'm making a celebrity game in San Diego that's related to soccer is Brandon and Esteban. Like that's local people. That's fine. Just making sure that it's San Diego affiliated. Just a little nod there. We are having a charity match.
We are.
That's going to be coming up. So
we'll be there. We'll be there. At what time is it?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Brandon, you heard it.
6 p.m. We'll send you the flyer.
Mark your calendars.
I'm really actually spoke with San Diego Wave today about that, and I hope, and I don't want to jinx anything, but Shannon McMillan tore her Achilles.
Yeah.
So
I saw that.
Hey Shannon, do you want to coach a team? So you might be coached by Shannon McMillan.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So that's down.
We were gonna reach out to Casey Tony, but she got a new job. So
yeah, she's up in Canada.
Yeah.
But all right, San Diego curse was caused by the Spanish. Absolutely, nobody.
I love
expects
the
Spanish
interaction in the chat
Inquisition.
today.
How do you get rid of those curses? La limpia, vato. Like you gotta.
Hey,
have you seen Glue de Cuervos?
Yeah. By the way, Tyler Heaps, I think, or was it one of the 3 that we interviewed? I forgot who exactly mentioned it.
It was Tyler Heaps. It was Tyler Heaps.
Who was it, Abe? Who was it, Abe?
Tyler Heaps.
Okay, yeah,
Tyler
Tyler
Heaps.
the Sequan band, right? They did a kind of like a cleanse,
I
a
did
ritual
see that. I did see that.
the day before.
Yeah.
Like, it ends in todo el pedo, like sacando los chamucos de la cancha. I mean, it's something that they do every time they welcome someone into their land. So I think that's beautiful. So maybe that took out the curse. You never know.
Who knows?
Es la limpia. Le hicieron el huevito y todo el pedo.
Yeah, no, it's the Kumeyaay people again. The first inhabitants of the area is let's see. Wait, actually, over
Where'd
here.
you get that jacket, Tony?
Yeah, where'd you get that? That's pretty cool.
¿Qué pedo, güey?
Oh, you mean the Sequan band of the Kumeyaay Nation jacket that I've
pretty
had
baller.
since
That's pretty-
2004? I have connections literally everywhere in San Diego.
This guy, dude.
I'll tell you this right now. We'll get to it later because I do have to address a controversial video that was out there. But we'll get to that. But hey, connections everywhere.
Connections
Pretty
everywhere.
cool. Pretty
100%.
cool.
But this is what you were talking about, the ceremony
Mhm.
here the day before.
They also did that at the groundbreaking. Like they
Yes,
did
they
the
did.
same thing. It was pretty rad.
Yeah, Kumeyaay land is where all this is and where we reside. So yeah, I mean it's an incredible part of who and what San Diego FC is, and I'll give them all the credit in the world in that respect. That is fantastic to see that as well. So with that, and yeah, they have to cleanse Snapdragon, just that land where the Chargers were, parking lot. Anything else for SDFC?
Oh, I think
Your
That I can
thoughts?
think of.
It's coming up. Like
it's coming up,
it's
and
here.
it's
Like,
a
there's
lot. It was a
training.
lot day one, and I mean, the next 3 days are close trainings. So
mhm.
Tony, you'll be out there on Friday along with Abe.
Yeah.
You'll get to talk to some players this time, so that's exciting.
Who would you like to? I mean, Chucky, check.
Uh-huh.
Let us
Who
know in the
would
chat
you-
too. Who would
do
you
you
like
guys
to
want
hear
to
from?
talk and hear from? Are the players?
Maybe some of the young boys. Maybe.
Okay.
Some of the young boys just say like, "What's your like? What do you think of San Diego? Stuff like that," and just like.
16-year-old Saidi is touted to be in the first team from what you heard, and
Yeah.
that's really exciting there. And I mean, again, they're going to need a practice squad, but it seems like he's poised to be there, and it's really interesting too because now I'm questioning not just the scouting, not questioning, but I'm just like, okay, is the scouting really that deep where they were able to see something that the Philadelphia Union, one of the top MLS academies, didn't see or oversaw or overlooked from Assad? So
Hey, looks like people want to hear from Reyes.
Andres Reyes.
Oh, Colombia! Shout out,
Colombiano.
shout out. He's from Cali. I asked him. I was like, "Hey, where are you from?" I'm from Cali. I was like, hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Send that email to make sure you get Reyes.
Okay.
Like they said to send emails if you have a like specific player you want to talk to. So from my understanding, this can be kind of like a mix zone style where players are going to be pulled from training to come talk to media. So make us proud, Tony, that day.
All right, I'll try. Hola.
He always does.
Hola, Andrés, ¿cómo estás? ¿Sí habla español? I mean, obviously
Sí,
de Cali, like 100%. He's a good story. Like I was looking him up, and he's a really good story.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is the veteran presence that you need, especially in the back. And that's what I want to learn more about San Diego FC. I've heard about the verticality, the transitioning, the attacking with purpose, that right to like. What's your defending going to be like? Like, are you just expecting to outscore the opponents, by 5 goals and let 4 in? Okay, sure. That's a winning formula at the end of the day, but what's their defending really going to look like on that? So anybody else that you kind of as player that you think like, it'd be cool to pick their brain?
I don't know. Maybe because I'm a goalkeeper, maybe just like say like, hey, how's the battle for net? Like that's gonna be an interesting one for sure.
Goalkeeper rooms are some of the most interesting group of individuals because they do their own thing. We do our own thing, man.
we do.
Like just leave me alone. Again, like why am I doing conditioning? I need my conditioning. I need my drills, and you can condition me in any way you want. Just let me put some gloves on. But it's a bunch of crazy individuals just kind of
You gotta be a little crazy to hop in net because you're defending the goal. You gotta do it. Like you gotta put the body on the line.
And little side bets of like if it's a rotation of 3 for the drills and they're shooting pass and shoot, like I love like you let that one in. Like I used to put sodas on the line. Like whoever got the most goals scored during practice would have to buy the other 2 goalkeepers sodas that after the practice, after training.
Hilarious.
I'll just say I was pretty thirsty because I wasn't thirsty because I actually bought a lot of sodas bought for me. So back in the day. But all right, cool. Awesome, possum.
We are gonna be transitioning over to our last segment.
Transition, and we'll bring back
your favorite segment of goals, gaffes, and greats.
All right. And will ask Abe. It's up to him if he wants to come back for this one, because I think it's an important one. Goals, gaffes, and greats. We talk about the highlights, lowlights.
Let's start
this
with the
week in
greats.
San Diego.
Let's start with the greats.
You want to start with the greats?
Yeah. So I mean,
oh, you want to start with the greats? You said.
Yeah. So I mean,
Love the show, Esteban.
I
so
love it, guys. I love it. I love you
love
guys.
this
You guys are
thing.
the best.
I have been
just
trying
seeing this
to
live
find
is
it.
amazing.
I have been trying to find it, Tony, but I don't know where you sent it to me. But you sent me a video of the Xolos lineup. I've been trying to find it against Toluca, and it's the Caliente clubs that are doing just super funny. Whatchamacallit? Introductions to the lineup. So Xolos comes with like it have music in the back. Antonio Rodriguez, and they're just like, I couldn't find it. Liga MX is our great of the week because of stuff like this. Let me just show this as well. James Rodriguez was announced to Club Leon today.
I saw that.
In the
I got it. I got it.
Oh,
yes.
yes, you found it.
Yes. Oh man,
This is great.
Oh man, this is
Dance intros.
fantastic. All right, let me. Abe, have you,
haven't
seen
seen
this?
this?
I haven't seen the new one.
Oh my god, this is MLS. Like I challenge you, MLS.
Hola, soy Rafael Fernández. Soy Alejandro Gómez. Soy
defensa.
Hola, soy Kevin Balanta.
Oh.
Hola, soy Kevin Castañeda.
Okay,
Soy
Kevin,
medio.
Kevin.
Castañeda.
Hold on, Kevin. Syllables.
Hola, soy Kevin Castañeda.
Casta is Castañeda.
Yeah,
anyway,
Soy medio.
Did you see Querétaro?
Hola, soy Cristian Rivera.
Let me find Querétaro.
Yeah, find Querétaro.
Every
Oh my
single
God.
club is doing
They-
this.
I think I just
No
saw Xolos
way.
and Querétaro.
Okay.
no, it's pretty.
That's
It's
hilarious.
pretty intense. What's happening over?
I found it.
No way.
Hola,
Let me
soy Iván
finish it.
Tona y mi posición es medio.
Okay, they didn't even try.
Hola, soy Iván Tona y mi posición es medio. Hola, soy Manuel Reynoso.
It has a great name, by the way.
Soy Raúl Zúñiga, delantero.
Got it.
Yeah, that was good. Got it.
Soy Domingo Blanco.
Domingo
No,
Blanco's
that's
his
just
name, dog. Where are Xolos getting these players from? Who the fuck is Domingo Blanco?
I actually met all these players at
Domingo
SeaWorld.
Blanco.
At SeaWorld?
He
Yeah.
said the whole
That's
thing.
right.
They did like the thing there. Yeah.
All right, I
But
got,
why is he shaking?
Soy Domingo.
he's just
He's just
laughing.
nervous. He's zero media training.
Shout out to Domingo Blanco. That's so cool.
I got right here. Querétaro's.
Make sure it's not muted.
Y cómo maldice un pollo a otro. Caldito seas.
So stupid. They're just doing jokes.
Soy Federico Lertra, no cuento chistes. Soy Cristian Castillo. ¿Qué le dice un mudo y cómo maldice un pollo a otro? Caldito seas.
It doesn't translate, but
And then, by the way, did you see James got announced to Club Leon, right?
I did see that. Yeah.
did you see how?
I think it was just like at the offices.
No, dog.
It looked like the office. I don't know.
Let me
Like, it
show
was
you
just like
this
a
shit.
selfie, like
No,
just like
they announced them with a almost 4-minute video.
What's the new player sending a wave? And what's her name? I'd like to see her dance. Her name. It's Chiamaka. What was her preferred middle name? Isa. No, not Isa. Oof.
Chat, let us know. But look, this
Okay.
this was Leon's introduction to.
Let me see that.
I won't play the whole thing.
But you might just have to.
Yeah,
I mean, just
have to.
This is a player announcement.
Not just any player. This is James Rodriguez, motherfucker. Like, put some respect on James. It is great. I love it.
It is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I did not see this video.
Yeah, you would have remembered.
Yeah,
You would
yeah,
have
yeah.
remembered. You want to skip through a little bit?
Yeah.
Hermano, juégatela. Aquí se apuesta la vida.
By the way, it's a nearly 4-minute video.
Yeah.
Who in Leon is
I'm
like
just so confused
gladiator?
right now. Like,
Cinema.
Oh, it's exactly gladiator scene. Mexicans in togas. Great
oh, the
control.
2014 goal.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Signature move.
Al emperador.
So dumb. And I think like our show's dumb, but like I love how in they went.
Not even sure if this is the coach. I want to say the coach.
We're not adding any. Like, this is the slow storytelling, methodical storytelling. I thought that was Tom Penn for a second.
What?
Yeah. So Liga MX is doing it right.
Yeah.
That's James Rodriguez.
Wow.
It is the greatest thing ever, man.
Wow,
and that's why
dude.
Liga MX wins San Diego Punto Futbol's great of the week.
Cisco's like they asked some random intern what movie they said they just saw and made it. That's probably what happened there.
That's
a
Fever dream, absolutely, Brandon.
The fact that James Rodriguez signed to Leon. I mean,
That's a
Leon,
fever
is,
dream.
Leon is known to sign like legends. Rafa Marquez like Landon Donovan. They had what's his name? Josie Altidore at one time. Andres Guardado
was there?
is currently there. So
Yeah. Wow.
it's amazing.
I don't know. I look, if Kevin De Bruyne gets announced for San Diego FC, I better see a shot-for-shot recreation of Home Alone in Chucky, in Chucky Mania style too. Like it's just play it at the Shell. What did you think about it, that Abe? Any thoughts on the?
How about this?
Look at that. I love that. This is.
Did you guys like the new movie? I thought it was pretty good.
I haven't seen it.
By the way,
I
haven't seen it either. Honorary mention for good of the week is Drew Ruggles with the soccer scoring his first hat trick ever.
Absolutely. Which brings us to obviously the goal of the week, which is what I have
Perfect.
queued up, Chiba.
Awesome.
Thank you. The grade of the week is Drew Ruggles, who scored the hat trick against the Tacoma Stars away, as you heard from Chiba 5 seconds ago. And he also scored a banger.
All the way back for Ruggles. He had the opening goal. He's going to strike again, and he's doubling up.
Yeah.
Drew Ruggles making a statement on the road.
And that was his third goal
against
for his
the
hat trick.
Tacoma Stars.
It was
It's
his second one.
3-2
It was his
San
second
Diego
goal.
Sockers. And Torres
Oh,
hits
did
the
he beat the
ground.
Cole
No
Palmer?
whistle
Did you see that?
called. Correa has to come
Some
all the
say
way
out
back.
there.
That's on a
Some say out there that Cole Palmer does the Drew Ruggles.
Oh,
Just saying. Just saying.
Chetos.
all the way back for Ruggles. He had the
A
opening goal.
educator
He's going
foot
to
on the
strike
left.
again, and he's
You know,
doubling
Chris
up.
Toth, one of the greatest.
Drew Ruggles making a statement on the
goalkeepers.
road against the Tacoma Stars. It's 3-2 San Diego.
Yeah, I know it's
Soccer.
frigid. It's Tacoma, Washington, bro.
Tacoma hace frito.
But yeah, Drew Ruggles are great of the week, and guess what? We'll go ahead and break down everything San Diego Soccer's related tomorrow on Soccer's Overtime, because that's part of the San Diego Punto Football banner now. Somehow, like it's.
That's awesome.
I told you it was.
That's
cold in
awesome.
here. No.
All right, it is time to go to our gaff of the week.
I'm not.
I'm very curious. You kind of made it.
Yeah.
What this was gonna.
The gaff of the week goes to our very own Tony Sanchez, and I mean, we like transparency with our viewers, with our followers here, and you know, we always address when things happen within the San Diego Punto Football family. Tony, this is a message that was delivered from the San Diego Football families that we will be sharing to our live viewers. Dear Tony, I hope this memo finds you well. As a valued member of the San Diego football team, it is important. Wait, this is a little small. Let me pull it up here. I hope this memo finds you well, Tony. As a valued member of the San Diego football team, it is important that we maintain the highest level of professionalism in all aspects of our work. This includes the way we represent ourselves, the company, and the sport of soccer in the public eye. Our readers trust us to provide accurate, insightful, and respectful coverage of the beautiful game, and that trust is something we take seriously, Tony. It has come to our attention that there have been instances where the level of professionalism expected of you has not been fully upheld. As a member of this team, you are a representative of the San Diego football. You are a representative of San Diego football, and it's crucial that you consistently reflect the standards we set. Here, people, you can read the expectations that we have
yes,
for Tony.
Abraham?
Respect.
I agree with all of this. You need
Objectivity
to follow.
and integrity, confidentiality and discretion.
I would hope my HR knows how to read
Representation
my
of
own
San
fucking
Diego
memo to
football's values. Tony, we trust that this reminder will help you guide your actions going forward. Should you have any questions or wish to discuss this matter further, please do not hesitate to reach out to me directly. We believe in your abilities and look forward to your continued success as part of the San Diego football team.
Yes. Let the record show that we have officially handed this memo to Tony Sanchez. We hope he finds this message well and will take it to heart.
I'll find it well, and you can shove it up your ass. I'll tell you this right now: I ain't signing shit. Why? Because
we don't
all,
need your signature on this. This is just a memorandum for you to keep aware that we are expecting the highest of things from you.
Well, because you have those
Make sure you
expectations of
keep
me,
the policies and procedures that we went over training, and because of that, you will have to go through a couple more trainings, Tony, just to remind you of the professionalism.
Based on this reaction, it's not the reaction we hope to see.
Well, you can hope to see more of this reaction, because I'll tell you this right now, and I'll address the controversies, because this is something that I was incredibly disappointed to have heard about, because we were receiving a lot of. I'm sorry to put you in this
I'm very
position.
confused with what's going on.
Like, this is just
what
the gap
was
of
the
week.
straw? Like,
Look,
what happened for you?
Again, handles have things have been handled internally, and we just wanted to make it to the public known that we've had this conversation with Tony off the air and on the air as well, because we like transparency with our viewers. And when things are not met to our expectations, we handle that. So
I'll tell you right now, again, why I will not sign such a thing is because,
again,
first
we're
of
not
all,
asking for a signature. This is just a memorandum for you.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. You go ahead and write down Tony Sanchez all you want, but legally, my name is Jose Antonio Sanchez. So right now, that memorandum means nothing to me, and I'm not going to go ahead and do anything.
I told you to put Jose Antonio, Chiva.
Exactly, Abraham.
I said it earlier. I literally said in the car.
That's why I am HR, and as HR, I decide both of you are gay.
You're the gap of the week, motherfuckers. Deal with it.
Both of you.
Deal with it. You suck. You fucked up.
All right. For those of you that are curious, like what's going on, like Esteban is here.
Tony sucks. That's what's going on.
As you know, there was a video that went out. It was recorded a couple of fortnights ago. But I will say that it's one of these things where I will take responsibility, and I'll really go ahead and address it now.
She was a hater.
Unfortunately, it came to my attention that this jacket has a lot of people asking questions, and I just want to set the record straight and say that I purchased this jacket before the Chrome Ball tour decided that Chrome and Azul was going to be part of the imagery, and I will really just say thank you to everybody who's reached out, because this jacket was bought, yes, in fact, for $5 at Vieja's Adidas outlet. And that's the biggest controversy, and that is the only controversy that came out from that video. But I just have to address it here. And Abe is incredibly disappointed in my actions to wear the colors of a said team.
Professionalism, Tony.
A said team, but
just put the crest.
I can't. I tried.
Really?
I tried to superimpose it. Where'd you put my video? Did you delete it? What is this?
I didn't delete the video.
I
only care about one crest. That's the only crest you're gonna care about.
Bring it too. Heck yeah.
So just again, I superimposed that, as you can tell.
Okay.
I just noticed that. I just noticed that. I've watched this video like 10 times, and I just noticed the jacket has the logo.
I thought that was kind of real. Like, I thought, like, you just, I don't know.
Oh, we need to make this a thing.
You
Oh
should
no,
have-
this is why Tony got in
Set the
trouble.
logo.
This is why Tony got in trouble. And again,
Oh,
people,
yeah, that.
Tony cannot be wearing this jacket out in public anymore. Tony, again, just make sure you follow the policies.
I'll try my best to abide by your silly little made up
Look,
rules.
Tony Sanchez, you see?
That's you know what that's on me, folks. That's on me, folks. It does kind of look good. You know, actually, I wore the other one. They have another one that has lighter blue, and the I
I've
guess,
seen
CEO of Albion or whatever the highest position is stopped me at the USD Davis game.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was like, hey, like you, and I was like, oh, I know you. And we were about to have a conversation about soccer. He's like, where'd you get that jacket? I was like, oh, at the Adidas store. I was like, well, I've been trying to convince my team to go for that same jacket, this, and this. All right, cool. On your way. And I'm just like, oh,
Oh,
thought
Adidas and
you knew who I
templates. We
was.
love to see it.
100%. So I apologize for any
They don't make
children
them like these
harmed
anymore,
in
you
this event. But yeah, it's good to know that people have eyes out there.
And that's why Tony Sanchez won the of the week.
Of
Just
the
like two
dumbest
parents fighting. I was like,
of the
what is going on?
dumbest segment.
It's my
in San
favorite
Diego
segment.
football. Like somehow this happens on a weekly basis, and Abe allows it. Abe allows us to do such things, and that's why there's a like that.
That's just a cap cut, just playing around with things, and he'll hit me with the. Hey,
You
what have
told
you?
me about
What have
CapCut.
you?
CapCut is great.
And Mort told
it's
me about
fast.
CapCut.
It's like super easy to use.
He told me about CapCut, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you actually. And there's a little story to go along with this close of episode that was SDFC heavy. It was after the Mikey Vada's presentation that in the SDFC circles, I heard rumblings, and I was talking about like, well, they actually commended us because of our production, and because of CapCut, it's gone
Yep.
up in significant ways. CapCut Pro, actually.
Yep. We got it too.
And I got in a conversation with somebody at SDFC, and I was like, yeah, no, I've been, they were complimenting. I was like, yeah, no, we've been using, this. And they're like, what's CapCut? And I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't be asking me what CapCut is because you should know what
have a
CapCut
whole
is.
marketing team.
And you might want to use it. So indirectly, because of MLR, because of you, because of us, we put SDFC on game for CapCut.
I mean, it just helps out so much. I mean, obviously,
It's super easy to use.
Yeah.
The
Like,
captions,
it's-
guys.
Yeah.
It was
Turn
an
it to a-
8-minute video. It's hard to just go every single little detail and change it. I just uploaded the captions and I said, "Fuck it, let it fly." That's why Cholos is CHO instead of X. O. So I mean, whatever. I love CapCut. It's dope, and I got Tony hooked on it too, and that's
Yeah,
why he
no,
does,
now-
that's why he does little stupid shit like.
Like what? Like what? No.
every week is like something different,
Abe
which
hates
is
it.
pretty fun.
Abe
Abe,
absolutely
he's
hates
like,
it.
our
Come on,
listeners should not
man.
be watching 4 minutes of stupid
The
videos.
San Andres one was pretty sick. I like the San Andres one. That one was pretty
I don't hate it. I don't like that they have to see every single. It would be cool if we did a new one every week and it was just that one. How about that?
All right, Abe, you got some homework. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you can access it too, dude.
Yeah, you have access.
I'm not a big CapCut guy. I use Adobe and I like the Adobe suite.
Oh, how's that working out for you?
He likes to make his life more difficult. That's what he likes.
Hey, Adobe's pretty good.
Adobe's dope, but it's expensive as fuck.
It
is
is
expensive. I borrow it from people.
Well, Abe's got people. All right. Well,
I don't know.
I think this is a
hey,
great
Esteban, do you have anything else for us? Do we have something?
Plug anything
we
you
can
want.
go ahead and.
Baller crew.
Well, thank you guys for inviting me over. This was great. The event was awesome. Again, just like saying hi to all the players, dapping them up, giving the welcome, chanting super loud. And then they gave us a little tour, but everything was great. Shout out to Baller Crew. Shout out to Brandon, who's watching right now. Follow us if you want to see amazing, satisfying content, just like people, just us challenging other players, pros, other content creators, just having fun on the field. And we go to local San Diego fields. We don't want to say where, but we go to a lot of fields, and just make some content, just have fun and just be goofy out there. But yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
I like
love
that
it.
kit.
it's good, and yeah, we got some special plans for it. Some people are getting the kit.
Oh,
You guys are
shit,
getting
really?
one? Yeah,
Oh, hell
yeah.
yeah.
We're planning on releasing it to some people and to promote it and stuff, and then we want to sell it. That's the goal, to sell it and to continue to promote Baller Crew on YouTube.
Is that your game face, Esteban?
That is my game face. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I think Tony wants to mention this every time he sees you guys, but he wants a redemption video. He keeps saying
know,
it. Every
I
day
know.
he tells me, every day he looks at me, I can't sleep at night. I need a redemption video with Brandon and Esteban. I'm like, hey, dude, relax. It's okay. Gordo antes. The different guy now.
I can't tell you how fast I am right now. Like, I'm so quick.
I've seen him in action.
so
He's way
quick.
faster. He's not as quick as you would
I
think.
am. No. I'm quicker than you think. You're right, actually. Yeah, I'm not as quick as you think. I'm faster. Like, straight up.
I like that.
All right. We're gonna have to go play at Chula Vista pickup so you can check out Tony play.
Absolutely. All right. With that, thank you for everybody who's been joining us throughout the stream. It's really fun to kind of keep this going, and we're having a absolute blast with it. Gentlemen, anything else? Abraham, Jiba?
Shout out to the people in LA. Shout out to my mom. I actually had to pick up my dog because the ash and stuff. It's scary over there. Be safe, everyone.
Definitely keep track of our socials and stay tuned on Fridays for more videos that we'll be putting out.
More of the
More
same.
stuff.
More of the same.
Stuff.
But players
will be interviewed, will be spoken to.
Tony won't be wearing that jacket.
I will give. Well, that's the thing. I live kind of here, but I also live less than 5 minutes away from training camp.
You do.
I live less than 5 minutes
That's
away
amazing.
from
All those houses
Singing
get like
Springs.
a front view of the training sessions that are in the mountains.
Absolutely. However, real estate says that flooding is actually very big there.
Oh.
So hopefully the grass is good because it's the same people as Snapdragon.
Oh, we know the drainage is good there, right?
Well,
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, listening, keeping the comment section popping. I don't know why you said that.
I don't know
I'm
why you
tired.
said that.
I'm tired.
Yeah, you are. All right. See you later, guys.
Peace, guys.
Bye.